David Brin talks with aliens and the brains behind Mystery Science Theater 3000. Right here next on The Buzz. Isn't that right, Tom? This week, two of the talented performers and warped minds from Mystery Science Theater 3000. For our alien viewers, author David Brin would like to have a word with you. The creative artist who designs the creme de la creme of Halloween masks. And filmmaker James Cameron sinks his teeth into his first techno-thriller, Strange Days.
Why me?
Because you're the magic man, Lenny. You make dreams happen, don't you? If it's got something to do with the wire, sooner or later it washes up on your beach.
Welcome, you curious buzzers, to Sci-Fi Central. Hey, Mike Jarek right over here. How you doing? Welcome to Sci-Fi Buzz. Ed Wood's birthday is this very week, and in honor, I'm wearing Angora underwear. Get away from me. Hey, when I think, oh, what happened to my chair? When I think of Ed Wood, I think of Mystery Science Theater 3000. You know why? Because they have spoofed about 3 of his movies. Now, Ed was very serious about his science fiction movies, and Tom Servo and Crow and the rest of the gang over at MST3K are very serious about comedy. But what would Ed think of being made fun of? I don't know. What would any director think of being on MS3K21KY Jelly? What's the name of it?
Ooh. Wow. Zing.
Lumpy butt.
Oh. Hey, lumpy butt.
Stop calling me lumpy butt.
The concept is deceptively simple. A guy named Mike is kidnapped, shot into space, and forced to watch incredibly bad movies with 2 wisecracking robots named Crow and Tom Servo. But Comedy Central's Mystery Science Theater 3000 is more than just a 2-hour put-down of inept films. With its biting satire and social comment, the program rates as one of the hippest shows on TV.
What happened? I heard...
Stay here. Get back into the house.
Someone left a cake out in the rain.
Sounds like Gene Krupa's out here.
Though the show has been likened to watching a cheesy movie with your friends, being this cleverly snide isn't as easy as it looks. Recently, I got the lowdown from 2 of the program's creative talents, Mike Nelson, who plays the character of the same name and is also head writer, and Kevin Murphy, who is a writer and the man behind Tom Servo. They revealed that almost all of their characters' flip remarks are carefully scripted.
Considering the fact that we've gotten up to about doing 700 lines, 700 jokes a show, yeah, it gets to the point where we have to. And the best compliment we've ever had is that people are surprised to hear that we don't ad-lib it.
To come up with the jokes, the writers have to spend a staggering amount of time watching wretched movies.
I'll stick by you until the last propeller falls off the plane.
It's funny you should bring that up. The last propeller just...
It takes 9 days to write. And I don't know how many run-throughs of the movie. I think roughly 6,000 run-throughs of the movie.
6,000 run-throughs.
No, it's probably 7 viewings, but each one is at least 8 hours long. So, I mean, that counts. It's because you're backing up and you're watching a loathsome moment over and over and over to get the right joke.
Talk about suffering for your art. As it turns out, the jokes that are used are often the ones that come out of the very first viewing of the turkey film.
Quite often, because especially if we really hate a movie, because then we're totally unfair to it and we just want to hurt it back, because it's hurting us.
I think the second writing day is with the comments that strictly deal with the pain of the movie. Those are the ones that come out about how you start to pick on how somebody looks. You know, it's not really fair, but you've made us sit here for this long.
Hey, you like this shop course, Joe? I like it swell. Why?
Could you staple my ears back?
Most of the actors that get skewered on the show don't take it personally. However, there are a few that do not get the joke.
This may not be true, but we heard that Joe Don Baker, we made fun of him in a movie called Mitchell, which is just a horrible movie.
He wanted to hurt us.
Yeah, and he was like, if he saw us, he was going to punch us out.
While Joe Don Baker may be overly sensitive to criticism, I discovered that Mike and Kevin can also be a little thin-skinned. So which character is the most popular? And you know that one of them gets more fan, you know, screams than
What are you getting at?
Well, I mean, which one's the favorite?
It's not either of us, okay?
You know it's Crow, don't you? And you're just doing this to hurt us.
Is really
I did not know that.
But malicious bastard. You did this just to
It's
hurt
really
us,
cruel,
didn't you?
Mike. I mean, the
This
interview
is
was going really
nobody
well.
told us that
No.
he was going to come on
Thanks
here
a lot.
and give us a hard time.
Isn't this why you locked Crow in his room so we couldn't come down
You're
for the interview?
darn tootin', that's why we
Not going
locked
to get
Crow in
any
his
interview
room.
time.
Although Mike and Kevin have to spend so much of their lives watching hideous films, they've landed a great gig. Their show has proven popular enough to spawn Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie, now in post-production. Meanwhile, the TV program appears to have a lengthy future. They could probably keep going as long as Hollywood keeps cranking out horrendous films. In other words, until hell freezes over.
Yeah, this was really a chick film.
Just down the time stream, author David Brin is calling all aliens. And we'll find out where filmmaker James Cameron got the strange inspiration for his new flick, Strange Days. Hey Buzzers, the Buzzboard line is available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From author David Brin. And you X-Files fans, listen carefully to David.
Sometimes on radio, UFO believers challenge me, and I ask a few questions, leading questions. These alien guys, they're pretty smart, huh? And the person on the telephone says, oh, yes, 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 yes. Our technology's child's play to them. And they've been monitoring our broadcasts for years, right? Oh, yes, yes. Well, in that case, they're probably listening to my voice right now. All right, well, in that case, I'm going to do what I've done on radio several times in the past. I'm going to quit talking to you folks out there and address the following remarks to the little silver guys picking up this beamed broadcast. Yoo-hoo, silver guys, it's me again. I'm about to tell you how you can contact the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. You call up my friend, Dr. Michael Klein there, or call up the Phoenix Foundation in, I think it's Sunnyvale, California, the people who do the SETI research. Now, surely you're so smart, if our technology's child's play, that you can dial up through ComSat and call directory assistance. You give the area code 555-1212. You'll get directory assistance. Call them up and tell them about something you'll do to the moon tomorrow night. This is to prove that you're a real alien and not just some human jerk who thinks it would be fun to call up the Jet Propulsion Lab. I assure you, if you do something convincing to the moon, they will be ready for your call the next night. And they'll arrange landing sites, rent-a-cops, visas of both kinds. We'll get you gigs on Letterman, Leno. You want to date Madonna? Anything you want. We will roll out the red carpet. We will make first contact with Earth the finest experience you have ever had. That's our offer. And if you turn down that offer and continue kidnapping people, disemboweling cattle, and playing stunts, we've settled what you are. Either you don't exist, or you're a bunch of space jerk morons. Now, I know I'm bucking a trend here, and it may sound odd for a Democrat to say, but I'm a real big fan of the Air Force. And if you guys don't come down and make nice, get ready to get torched.
This is Bill Warren from Sacramento, California, and I want to tell all fans of Star Trek about a book I really enjoyed. It's called Star Trek, The Ashes of Eden by Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner. As you might have guessed, it's about Kirk himself as he faces retirement, lost chances, estranged friends, and a final opportunity to make things right again. Struck quick-paced story, and a chance for all Trekkers to gain a new understanding of one of sci-fi's greatest heroes, Captain Kirk himself. I thought it was great fun and great reading.
Have you ever jacked in? Have you ever wire tripped?
No.
A virgin brain. Good.
Action-adventure guru James Cameron has teamed up with his ex-wife, director Catherine Bigelow, and together they're taking viewers on a wild ride to the edge of time. Strange Days is a techno-thriller that takes place on the eve of the new millennium. Los Angeles is in chaos, and people are hooked on recordings from superconducting quantum interference devices, or SQUIDs. This nifty piece of hardware allows users to experience someone else's experience.
Do you think this would ever happen? Squidding and wiring and things like that?
I do. I do. It may be not exactly as it's been presented, but I know that superconducting quantum interference devices have been experimented with since the 50s, believe it or not. I mean, it is an existing technology. They don't have it perfected to the level that we do in the film, but that's not to say that, you know, the idea's got to come first, right?
Several techno tales have hit theaters in recent months, but unlike the others, Strange Days boldly explores cutting-edge concepts in a fresh, exciting style, using effects that were accomplished through simple cinematic ingenuity rather than high-tech digital tricks.
Damn it, you know I don't deal in snuff. Corner. Well, you could have at least warned me. You know I hate the zap when they die. It just brings down your whole day.
Strange Days is unique visually, but what's unique about it, I think, is more the subjective camera movement and that sort of thing. And those problems were solved using advances in Steadicam technology and a special helmet camera that my brother built for the cameramen to use for some of that stuff. And the digital work in the film is not that.
It's pretty minimal, isn't it?
Yeah, some of the crowd stuff toward the end, but really a more bread and butter use of that.
This is not like TV, only better. This is life. It's a piece of somebody's life. It's pure and uncut. It's straight from the cerebral cortex.
I was just wondering, I was sitting there watching, would I put that thing on? I think I would.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
In a second.
So you probably thought about that a lot. You would.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And where would you go? What do you want to experience?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's more complicated.
Would you want to see what it was like to be a man?
I'd be curious.
Yeah.
I'd be curious. I mean, the possibilities are infinite when you start to think about it. You know, anything you can imagine, you could experience. I mean, experience for real.
Having helmed sci-fi sensations like The Terminator and Aliens, Cameron is credited as a co-writer and producer on Strange Days. He and Bigelow spent years developing the script. The self-proclaimed sci-fi nut says he found it more challenging to conjure up a near-future world than a distant one.
Well, it's more restrictive. I mean, you can't go crazy. People can't suddenly start beaming up. But on the other hand, it's more interesting because you really have people's attention when you start talking about, you know, this is not Stardate 2170, and this is like, you could be living through this, you know. It's like, pay attention.
Strange Days plugs into theaters on Friday, October 13th. We'll unmask the creative genius who designs top-of-the-line Halloween masks next. With Halloween only about 3 weeks away, here on The Buzz, we want to give you a head start. So we've come all the way to Northern California to meet Mario Chiodo.
Welcome.
Who is president of Elusive Concepts and the designer of all these masks you see right here. I know you've done work for Warner Brothers, apparently.
Right. You can be a life-size Tasmanian devil, Wile E. Coyote, or Marvin the Martian.
Been hanging out with the Universal kids.
Frankenstein, Wolfman, Dracula, Bride of Frankenstein, the whole run of the monster.
Apparently Legend, too.
Yeah, we did Legend, Jurassic Park dinosaurs.
I want to know how these things are made. I'm excited. He's definitely excited. So let's get to it. Let's cut. Don't say cut! Tip of the top hat to you. This is the way it starts, Mario, right?
That's right.
Block of wood, clay.
Blob it all together, and we just start sculpting until we have a Halloween character.
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Latest version of Jason, Cyclops.
How do you get those eyes in there?
They're inserted from behind on the final product, and you can see that we're making a special effect eye that will actually allow the eyes to blink on the mask.
You developed this process?
We developed it ourselves.
Freddie?
Latest version, the 8th or 9th version.
Now, somebody told me that you actually look in a mirror and use your own face.
That's right, to get
the model.
To get the anatomical features correct. See all the double chins I've got? They're right in there.
Low self-esteem, Mario.
Over here, Jim's doing the second step in making a mask, which is making a mold of the clay. And he'll put layer after layer until he gets about 3 inches of a plaster mold.
Yeah.
And when this hardens, we dig it out and
crack it open, and you've got a mask.
From that will come the mask.
And then you paint it.
Yeah, 4th step is painting.
Where's that happen?
That's in the other section.
I see. Start with basic black, huh?
Yeah, we start with the darkest color first, and you actually apply it as a form of makeup. It is a special rubber paint that's flexible.
After the shading, what do you go to next?
The medium color, which will be like a brown that's slightly less dark than this.
Then from there?
And then from there, we'll start with the actual skin tones, or in this case, bone colors.
Boy, Mario, you're good. That was fast.
Thank you.
Now, how long would that normally take?
In the factory, that would normally take between 30 and 45 minutes.
So what's the next step?
If the masks require hair, we would do this to it.
You'd come over hair.
Yeah, and we apply a plush pile acrylic hair.
Oh, have anything in a shag.
And it's hot glued to the mask.
Yeah.
And we put it all over, and then we come back and retrim it so it'll fit perfectly and shape it. And
Ever do nose hair? If you had to, right?
It's a new mask.
The great thing about this, Buzzers, is all these masks we've seen tonight, you can actually get in regular stores.
Right, they're all over. And especially, the biggest selection is at a Spencer Gifts.
And they have stores all across America?
All over the country.
Spencer's. Okay, good for Halloween. Can we come back next week?
Sure.
There's so much more to see here. It's great. I want to see, though, your favorite, your most gruesome head in the play.
Pretty scary, and I don't know if you have the stomach for it.
No, they can
This
handle it.
is
Go ahead.
horrible. You ready?
Yeah.
This is Ron from Ocean Township, New Jersey, and I'm calling to recommend a great new comic magazine called Conan the Savage. It's about everyone's favorite barbarian hero. It is the new reworked version of the old Conan, Savage Sword of Conan magazine. And beautiful artwork, excellent storylines, and it's fun for pretty much all ages.
This week on Cutting Edge, if this looks like a normal, everyday house, look again. This is the house of the future. Built by GE, the purpose of this living laboratory is to peek into tomorrow, to find out what the future might hold in home construction. And you're not going to believe what's ahead. Take, for instance, these floors. They may look like stone, but you're actually walking on recycled car parts and housings from business machines. Turns out they produce a wear-resistant, lightweight, environmentally friendly alternative to traditional floors. Also check out the plumbing. This sink with flexible tubing and plumbing cassettes simply clips into the wall. No need to call a plumber to install it. Even I could do it in less than an hour. And there are some great toys in this house as well. With more than 50 partner companies contributing products and expertise, the latest in technology is represented here. There's a central computer which serves as a home office, but also runs the electricity, telephone, and data and security system in the house. That gives you more time for pleasure, like throwing a party on a whim.
Evening party.
Thanks to the voice-activated party mode.
The evening party lighting mood is now set.
There's also a touch-control kitchen computer. It can do everything from printing a photograph of who's at the door to filling the upstairs bath.
The bath is now filling.
So even if the idea of this high-tech house leaves you cold, you can take comfort in a bath that is always ready when you are. There'll be ghosts, ghouls, and goblins galore on our Buzz Best Bets after this celebration of American free enterprise. It's a paranormal potpourri guaranteed to haunt your reverie on this week's Buzz Best Bets.
Casper! Okay.
If you miss Casper on the big screen, or you'd like to frolic with the friendly ghost again, he's back. Casper debuts this week on videocassette and Laserdisc. The ghostly characters were brought to life by Industrial Light and Magic. ILM took the digital technology created for Roger Rabbit almost a decade ago into a whole new dimension. The Laserdisc features full widescreen and digital stereo sound. If you prefer ghosts of the unfriendly variety, this book's got them. Continuing the success of the nationally acclaimed Haunted America, Historic Haunted America is a further investigation into North American ghost legend. Authors Michael Norman and Beth Scott traveled coast to coast, interviewing eyewitnesses, unearthing accounts from ancient archives, and spending nights in haunted houses to document America's most astounding ghost stories.
Stay on the wagon! Stay on the wagon!
And if you'd like to partake in some phantasmic fun, how about a visit to Spooky World Horror Theme Park? Now in 2 locations, Berlin, Massachusetts, and Shakopee, Minnesota, Spooky World offers acres of hair-raising attractions. They include a haunted house designed by Hollywood special effects wizard Tom Savini, the American Horror Museum, and Aliens The Ride, a motion simulator adventure from iWorks Entertainment. Also featured appearances by such spooky celebrities as Elvira, Bobby Boris Pickett, and Linda Blair. Spooky World is open 7 nights a week throughout October, and those are this week's Buzz Best Bets. Before we go, some casting news for you. Did you realize they still haven't named the male lead for Speed Racer? Yeah, Johnny Depp wants to do it. I think it's a pretty good choice, Johnny Depp. Well, what about Mel Gibson, gang? Mel Gibson, huh? No? Donny Osmond?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Keanu Reeves?
No.
Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
Jim Carrey?
No.
Oh. Well, you know, they have named the lead for The Phantom, hitting the big screen. Billy Zane has been named. Billy Zane? I don't like that. I mean, even I could hop around in purple tights as a superhero better than Billy Zane. Oh, wait, what did I just say? Did I admit something? Oh, no. Go to black. See you next week.